Assalamu alaikum and happy Friday. Jumatul Mubarak. This is a constitutional advocate Quraysh King. Today is the 14th of the February, year 2024, and I'm going to raise a landmark judicial obligation which should be understood by the public. But I know that the public is not willing to adhere or acknowledge such transformative issues of the reconciled observations of the said territories. So the primary sector where we have to observe the judicial leading questions that which elements are leading the humans into the miserable sanctions. Number one, why the humans being they are talkative in nature or absurd in nature, or not reserved as to have the intellectual thoughts of their own thoughts to be accomplished in the time resolved methods of the area of the critical thinking regarding the economy or regarding the feasibility reports of the religious areas of the execution points. Both points should have to be considered by a prudent individual of the said society in order to meet the judgment day. This is the primary targeted lifestyle of a Muslim. So we have to understand these factual questions which are being disobedient in the sectors of the major baseline cities of the Punjab territories, Sindh territories, Balochistan territories, and the other KPK territories. So today I'm going to target the over-influenced as well as the influenced individuals of the said territories that as per my legal observations of the prior 1 decade retrospective and prerogative practicing the law practice, that when I observe the prima facie factors that which elements lead such human beings into the multi-dimensional coast neglected areas of the overthinking and over collaborating with the things which have no proper resolved method of the incrementing forces of the reliable sources. So there are a lot of the challenges which we have to observe. The children, they have produced two types of the children: de facto children and the guardian ad litem children. De facto children are those children who are in fact children or in possession children or having the possessory things, and the guardian ad litem means such children which have the entitlement or enrollment of the children through the legal channels of the said marriages. Hereafter, in the subcontinent and in the whole of the globe, when a person who, there are two opposition points here, we have to observe these points with very calm head in order to understand my legal observations. Thereafter, the human beings, when they have to face the public challenges and the public anxiety and the depression, they always correlate with the other person, the second person, the third person. But they don't have the reliable resources that what ought to be destined with their own life. They exempt this question and they forecast another question that someone is raising his capital revenue and they are failing. So here become a question of the jealousy sector. Jealousy sector is a new psychological disorder in the Pakistan, India. So when they become psychological mentally sick, they do overdosed drugs, not only drugs. So hereafter we have to observe the Narcotics Drugs Act 1997. I have studied those statutes so far, that's why I'm saying these things. So when I have studied the Narcotics Drugs Act 1997, thereafter I observed that every second or third person is suffering from the overdosed, not moderate sense of dose of the narcotic drugs in the Pakistan, India, because of their overthinking or over their having the possession of the others' rights, equitable entrustment over their own head. So if every human being is free, whatever he is willing to do or she is willing to do, she or he will subject to do such things under our prudent Islamic laws, not as per the Valentine days. So hereafter we have to observe that the subjected narcotics overprocessed students are full of the unequipped knowledge in the universities. Their parents have neglected such children, and thereafter they're doing drugs, and thereafter they're promoting the illegitimacy, derogatory reproductive growth organizations in the Pakistan, India, and that's why we are observing such illegal and non-intelligent individuals in the said society who just oversee or overcast the primary task obligatory of their self to be accomplished in the time of the adversarial challenges could be called as the ascertainment of the economy. Yes, while you are ascertaining the economy, something is being loose, and which element is being lost could be called hereafter time management. In order to avail the time management, a lot of the individuals, they become manipulated at the pointations of the second person, third person, even in the business enterprises and in the private sectors, and a lot of the provincial autonomies are the resultant of such activities in the Middle East countries as well as the other countries. So we are in Pakistan and in Middle East, there is no reciprocating incriminating forces of the law. The reciprocating liability or the master and servant laws. There must be the landowner laws, and the humans, they are not willing. They are doing the illegitimate thoughts execution. Illegitimate thoughts executions in the public sector. They have huge thoughts, and such thoughts would not accompany with the proper, well-reformed lifestyle during the time span of a life. So one has to reconsider his execution of the lifestyle in order to avail the successful life. It doesn't matter you are rich or poor, these things become secondary in your life. Which thing is compulsory as to achieve in the time is to manage the time as to have the better result for the upcoming years in order to avail the moderate generation. This is a question of fact as well as law, which is not being compiled by this generation. So they are suffering a lot of the times, and in the said depictions of the factual disobedience of the public at large in the globe, when I observe that they don't have the time management, reformative area, workforce employment, as well as employees, and none of them are willing to work in the accurate length of control as to have the moderate sense of wisdom as well as the prudent observations of the intellectual thoughts. A minority could be observing the physical as well as the mental exercises in order to avail the adversarial challenges to be accomplished in time, but a lot of the majority of them have known the reliability of the achievement of the such activities because they have devalued the observations of the intellectual thoughts of their prior generations, which had died in the state position. In a state position means having no proper backlog of the proprietary rights, property rights, and thereafter they are losing the credible hours of creating the new inventions or the creative intellectual rights for their own self. So I work regarding the intellectual rights of my own farm, my own laws. So I had started such practicing the 2016 towards 2000 upwards 25, because I observed that the lack of writing the laws in Pakistan is a primary tool. The copy materials are publicly defamatory area where they have executed thoughts in ulterior challenges of the public derogations, and they have produced such a generation who are crammers and who don't have the right to execute a moderate assessment of a well-balanced lifestyle as per their own per capita income. So they don't have these things, and they have accelerating their thoughts via material particulars capitalistic approach of their parental neglected area of doing the sexual orientations inside their houses or homes both. And they thought that the other individual is a fool. It's never been like that. So we have to observe the provincial autonomies failures in the Pakistan, especially in order to make a compulsory law as to make the landmark of judicial observation report that if the human beings are not willing to observe the confrontation of economy. Thereafter, they have to battle inside the houses for the achievement of the economy of the someone else. So they are facing such challenges. Stay blessed.